Question 459. What is the highest thing you've fallen or jumped off without a parachute?
Cliff. Oh, how high was it?
Oh, wait there. Okay, yeah.
Jumped off of, or
fallen.
It's got to be jumped. It's got to be jumped off of, not like any other sort of form off of it. Like
what? Like what?
Zip wire, for example.
No, zip wire doesn't count.
What's the highest thing I've jumped off of?
Jumped or fallen off.
Oh, I jumped off a cliff. I would say it was at least 3 stories high. 3 stories high.
Did you break anything?
No, I was into water.
Fair enough.
Wait a minute. I did fall off a roof in my teenage years doing graffiti, and I sprained my ankle. I fell off 2 stories. Yeah, busted my ass.
Jones says garish roof fallen off. Seraphim says diving board. Doorknob Head says first story house roof, high dive board. A cliff into soft dirt.
Yeah, I've jumped off a cliff into a quarry. Full of water, obviously, like maybe 60, 70 foot.
Ooh! Fall or jump?
Jumped.
It's literally...
one. Just the one, scared the fuck clean out of me. Like.
So you wouldn't do it again?
Not now, because I'm too old now, and then the brain kicks in, and it's hard to over. Your body knows sometimes.
Too hard to jump off the thing.
I tombstoned off a sort of not massively high, but kind of tombstoned off of a cliff in Peru, actually, into a river, and which they were trying to get. Yeah, we went whitewater rafting in this river just outside of Cuzco, and they're saying, like, and they got to this little point where it was kind of calm in the river or whatever, and they got to this point, so we get everyone to tombstone, and it's just deep part. And just as I'm jumping off on the tour guys, as I'm about literally in the potions of jumping, I says, "Oh, by the way, piranhas." I'm like, "Motherfucker!" There were not piranhas, obviously, but I was just, as I was doing that, "You bastard!" Like.
Seraphim says, no, a roof into a lake, also a roof into a pool. Morton says he doesn't remember. And Seraphim says she fell out of a tree from about 4 foot high. Manda.
I think mine was, so we have this tumble trek at my gym, and it's just a long trampoline, but it's tighter than a normal trampoline, so it doesn't have as much give, so it doesn't launch you as high in the air. But I remember us first getting it and me doing it's about like 3.5 feet in the air itself, and then me getting to the end of a tumble routine and being at the end of the trek and launching myself off like 15 feet in the air. But luckily into max, but it was still really fucking high because of all the inertia from all the way down the track. So that's all I can think of.
Were you never in a cheerleading tower and fell off at the top?
I was always the bottom in the cheerleading towers. Well, it wasn't towers. We were flyers. We had flyers.
You had flyers.
I was the strong one, so I.
What you get for being tall.
Yeah, that too. Tall and strong. So.
That's kind of the same thing as what I was saying about wires, so it doesn't really count.
No, not repelling.
As I say, because otherwise I'd have said zip wiring off Bournemouth Pier, but
yeah, no, don't count. Sammy says the pedestal that Dave puts me on.
Oh.
Oh. Badger.
Right. Jumped would be a big tall diving board into a diving pool. Fallen would be a big tall tree that was maybe 2.5 stories.
Wonder if it counts if you hit every branch on the way down.
Well, I was in the tree, and I was a small badger at the time. I was sitting in this tree. I climbed all the way up, and I was really pleased with myself. And my mum calls up to me and says, "Don't get blown out of the tree by the wind." So as an absolute genius that I was at the time, I thought, well, in that case, I will lay down in this tree to reduce my wind resistance. So I did that and slid out of the tree. I went, ah! And winded myself. I landed right on the base of my spine.
Oh!
I was sitting there on the floor for about 5 minutes just going...
I've winded myself falling out of a tree.
Me too.
I remember falling out of a fir tree and hitting it. And like I said, and that was a really tall fir tree, but I wouldn't have counted it as a big fall because I literally hit the branches and slowed down on the way down. Just kind of, oh no. I think that the highest is probably only about 15 foot onto rubble. Stony ground, but not concrete. Because we used to jump off our local balcony.
Here's a fun little story.
Go on.
I was climbing...
Does it involve Disney?
No!
Okay, go.
So Disney... No, I was climbing up a tree. This is when I was in primary school. And it was going great. I was there, I was hanging from this branch, and I thought, right, I'm just going to dangle down from this branch and then drop down to the ground. I'm just going to look awesome. Right as I let go with my legs, so that I was just hanging from the arms from the branch, this kid just wanders underneath me and stands there. Ooh. And I was there like, oh. So I'm there shouting down like, move! And then I realise, after a few seconds, I realise who it is. I realise it's the kid who wears hearing aids and he's not currently wearing them. I'm just fucking dangling there, like, oh.
Who have we got? We have got. I've done that. Sat on top branches, then all the branches broke one by one on the way down. I fell because my mum was trying to pull me out of the tree. I used to, doorknob head, I used to climb up high cedar trees and then shimmy down on the outside branches. Much fun. And then Mathpig can tell his story.
Yeah, I think it was like 28 maybe. We hired a fucking huge bouncy castle, and because we're that age, they're like, oh yeah, this is for the kids and stuff. Oh yeah, and signed it out, took the thing home, blew it up in the backyard, and we were all drunk, jumping up and down on. One guy got too close to the edge, and he went up, and he went sideways, and his face went straight into the fucking garden, and he just busted his old nose.
Huh? And what does Manda say to that?
Who doesn't want to play in a bouncy castle?
Bouncy castles are great fun.
That's
Great fun.
awesome.
Right, last question.
During the
What?
quarantine, bouncy castles.
We should get a bouncy castle for DaveCon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Well, you know what ended up happening? We'll end up playing like Royal Rumble on there or something.
Mm-hmm.
Eh.
I might actually show up if you do that.
We might have got a badger.
You may actually get, yeah.
We need one of those bouncy castles with a net on the top.
It better be a good fucking bouncy castle if I'm going to come all the way to London for it.
I was gonna say, actually,
You're closer to London than I am.
problem I've got at the moment is if it actually goes ahead on the day that it's supposed to go ahead on, I don't know if I'm going to get the day off work, which is annoying. But
you're going to be sick. What? Vaguely, but probably not. Say again?
yeah, I've had like 3 months off stick it, Dave. It ain't going to fly.
Yes, it will.
Just
I'll
tell
come
me
break
you
your
got
knee.
the COVID.
Tell him you got the COVID. Problem is, if he gets the COVID, he's going to be off for another 6 months.
Mm.
Well, just tell
Problem
him
is, if I get the
COVID,
COVID, I'm going to fucking die. That's the problem.
Tell them you got the COVID, and then tell them the next day that it was one of the government's testing kits, so it was shit.
I just, the 5G lowered my immunity.
You got that 5G.
It was only 4.5. If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.